Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm the Gray Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Sunday, May 28th, 2023. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? May I please have the first 5 cards for our day? First card that we are reading for today here is 10 of Cups in its reversal. So this is feeling like there are some concerns that are rising to the surface today. May have something to do with that card of the day that we saw with that 8 of Wands in its reversal, that block communication. And the Moon card that we received the day before with some secrets coming to the surface. There is some anxiety that we are seeing in the collective on both masculine and feminine's part as it relates to moving towards your ideal desired future scenario or goal. Let's continue to get the cards for the first 5 of our spread. Next card that we are receiving today is High Priestess, and she is in her upright. So this is going to feel a little bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what you feel most aligned to. For feminine right now, this is addressing you coming to a point of correction around some circumstances or situations that you yourself may be feeling some concerns as to whether they're aligning to your long-term future goals or your plan. We are seeing here that this is bringing the feminine out of the heart space into their logic-based thinking. Feminine is using their logic, using their intuition to try to solve this problem today for themselves. While for masculine energy, this is a moment that you yourself, this is going to feel a little bit more difficult, because for the masculine energy, what we're really seeing here is this is some anxiety or concerns that you may currently be experiencing around your ideal, desired future plans or path as it relates to an energy of a high priestess. So there is some kind of blockage here that you yourself may be kind of trying to work through right now as you experience this with this identification of this energy around you in this moment. So we do appreciate this from the healed masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, because what it feels most aligned to. Because for the healed masculine energy right now, what we really see that you're doing is, while you are experiencing some point of disruption here as it relates to anxieties about the long-term plans and goals, you are also experiencing a feminine energy that you feel is coming towards you from a highly logical approach that you feel that you can communicate these things with. Now, continuing to get clarification, the center card for our spread for today is, come on out, Temperance in its reversal. Time is up. Time is up. You are being encouraged to take your point of action today. This is that moment. And again, we are going to feel a bit of a different shift here for the feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For the feminine energy right now, what we really love to see here, and I will point out this is really important because you will remember just a few days ago, we saw not once, but twice, the feminine energy moving from a place of reversal with the high priestess energy, not moving from a logic-based approach. Here we see the fact that feminine is experiencing. It's not the fact that feminine isn't experiencing some difficulties or adversities as it relates to what they're trying to manifest or create for themselves at this moment. But what we really love here is feminine is really rising to the challenge, if you will. Feminine's moving into their logic center. They're allowing their intuition, their higher guidance to guide them at this moment, to help to create a point of correction around building towards those situations or circumstances that are either leading them to their higher plan or destination, or putting some perspective on the spaces that clearly are not. And doing it in a very expedited way, recognizing that the time for this is now, and that this is the point of clarification for the feminine as to what it is truly for them, what they're trying to grow for themselves at this moment, versus what is giving every indication is not leading them to what they would truly desire. For masculine energy, this is going to feel a little bit different right now, because what we're seeing for the masculine energy is, and again, this is a moment that you yourself are experiencing some anxieties, some concerns, some deep worries right now as it relates to your own ability to manifest this long-term idealized future path or plan for yourself in this moment. But you're also feeling the anxiety of time, feeling like now is the time to act upon it, feeling like time has kind of reached its limitation point. But For the healed masculine energy right now, we see that this is being supported right now, that this is something that you are moving towards because you identify that there's something around what you're working on right now that has this logic-based, intuitive feminine energy kind of centered around it that you're working through and with right now to try to correct for these imbalances. Now, we're also going to see right now, or for the other masculine energy right now, this is also showing potentially you moving away from certain things that you don't feel are aligned to you right now, recognizing the time is now with a concentration towards a manifestation that is also embodying these characteristics. The fourth card for our 5-card spread for today is 9 of Cups. We love seeing this card in its upright. We love seeing this here. What are we seeing? And this is really beautiful energy, and it will feel a bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. What we're really seeing here for the feminine energy is, again, we love the fact that feminine is really coming into their logic-based approach to move out of any difficulties right now, because for the feminine, there is a recognition of something that is either not aligned to your own path right now, or something that requires a point of correction. You are not waiting right now. You are taking the initiative for yourself. You are feeling spiritually and divinely called to take these steps and actions for yourself right now, operating from your logic-based approach, your higher intuition, to help you get true perspective and optics on the situation, to decide what you need to move towards right now and what you might just need to move away from. And how is feminine doing this right now? Feminine is putting all their cards on the table. Feminine is expressing themselves openly and honesty to the energy around them from that logic-based centered approach in order to amend and make any corrections here. So, and this could feel a little bit different depending on where you fall on this feminine collective. For some of the feminine collective right now, this is a point that you are identifying some difficulties or adversities that you're currently experiencing, but you are finding a solution to them by putting all of your cards on the table. While for the other feminine energy right now, what we're also seeing is this is a moment where you yourself might be feeling like your path is getting kind of split in two. We've been seeing this separation point in the feminine right now. For the other half of the feminine collection right now, this is really you getting into a moment of like clear thinking, clear, focused understanding right now between what is truly going to put you into a space of abundance and being able to put all your cards on your table, to be able to really allow something to grow and change and become something magnificent, versus those places and spaces you may have been considering putting your energy that are just showing you in some very tangible way that they're never going to be able to give you that future ideal that you would ideally aspire or desire with them. So this is either a crossing of two paths for feminine right now, or a recalibration point to correct and amend for the other half of the feminine collective. Now, for masculine energy right now, what we're really seeing is this is a very similar energy, two different paths opening up here. For some of the masculine energy, what we are identifying is this is a moment that you yourself were also feeling some anxiety about whether something was moving in the direction that you would ideally desire it. But you are feeling the connection towards a high priestess energy, someone who is open and honest and able to move from that place of logic-based thinking and intuition. And this is that moment that you are using this as a moment and opportunity to put your cards on the table so that you can use this as a correction point. For the other half of the masculine collective right now, this is also a split moment that we are seeing that is being identified for you right now, because what we're really seeing is happening for you right now is there is this moment that you are being pulled or to two separate paths, one of which you are now identifying is not leading you to your ideal desired outcome. The other is one that you want to put all of your energy into right now because you are experiencing and recognizing the fact that there is a manifestation of feminine that's around you that is in this high priestess energy that you can have this ability to put your energy into right now in this way. And you're feeling some anxiety or concerns as it relates to the timing on that and the expediency. You may be even feeling the time might be up. Continuing to get clarification, the final card for our five card spread is, we've got here the Wheel of Fortune in its upright. So what are we really seeing here? This is beautiful energy that we are recognizing today, because what is happening, this is a point of karmic alignment. Karma is coming back into alignment right now for both feminine and masculine energy in different ways. Let's discuss. For the feminine energy right now, we are seeing a split in the collective. For some of the feminine right now, this is a point that you were feeling around some anxieties about things moving into your desired path or timeline. But you are using your higher logic-based thinking. You are taking action in the moment to be able to put your cards on the table, and you are recognizing that that is allowing a point of alignment to happen to get you on your highest karmic path. For the other half of the feminine collective right now, what you're experiencing is this is a moment that you may have potentially been feeling a struggle between two different outcomes for yourself. And this is a moment of recognition for yourself right now against the paths or the timelines that you feel were not going to lead you to your ideal ultimate future outcome, versus the places and spaces right now that have opportunities, that are offering you a lot of abundance. And this is you really recognizing them and coming to that correction point for yourself as it relates to taking the steps necessary to stay on your karmic path. While for masculine energy right now, what we are seeing is, again, a bit of a split in the collective. For some of the masculine energy right now, what you're really experiencing is a moment that you yourself are either feeling some anxieties or concerns right now around a feminine energy, around some ideal desired outcome or long-term path or plan. But you are taking action right now. You're putting your cards on the table. You are moving with expediency. You are finding that clarity in this energy, being able to move with it to make any correction points. And this is aligning you to your higher karmic path. For the other half of the masculine collective right now, we are seeing that this is a separation point that you may be feeling, because what you're seeing here too is masculine is also, this other half of the masculine collective right now is experiencing a moment that you potentially recognize that you are not necessarily moving towards that ideal future outcome that you yourself desired. You are feeling that time has kind of reached a limitation point. You want to come forward right now, and you're pulling potentially back from some opportunities to give forth in more full ways to others with your direction and orientation focused on this high priestess energy, a feminine energy that is in its logic-based, higher intuitive thinking. And that is also feeling like an alignment to your path. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, let's start getting down. Let's start drilling down on these, shall we? There goes that flippy 10 card. The 10 of Cups in its reversal in combination with our High Priestess. So again, for feminine energy right now, this was having a point of anxiety or concern as to moving in the direction of what is truly your bright, most happy possible outcome, using that logic-based intuitive approach to try to address this situation or to move away from the things that are not necessarily aligned to that course. While for masculine energy right now, we are seeing that there is some concerns or concentration about moving into your ideal future outcome with a lot of attention concentrated towards a manifestation of feminine that you recognize is in its higher intuitive element in this logic-based approach. So either shifting your focus from something that isn't aligning you towards, isn't aligning to your future towards this attention right now, or working and collaborating actively with this energy right now to correct for any issues around this at this time. May I please get one card to clarify? 6 of Wands in its reversal, and this is going to feel a little bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy. Okay, for feminine energy right now, there is a point of recognition about the places and spaces that you are recognizing victory on. So what we love about this right now for the feminine, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to, is for feminine, there really is a point of consideration that you are recognizing. And this is what's really beautiful about this High Priestess energy, which is the fact that for feminine, there's a recognition right now for both sides of the feminine collective that if you are in staying in this energy right now of the High Priestess will allow you all the clarification you need as to what is going to be best for you moving forward. How is that? Because we're recognizing, and this is where it falls on either side of the split. For feminine energy right now, there's a deeper point of understanding that if you are employing a higher intuitive logic-based approach, that is an act of protection that occurs towards you right now, because either it is going to allow you to correct for some spaces and places where you were feeling some anxiety that you weren't going to have a victory, and you're using that logic to be able to amend and correct for it. While for the other half of the feminine collective, there is a point of recognition that if you are taking a logic-based approach to try to correct for some oversight that isn't leading to a desired outcome, and it is not being met in the proper way, then that's not a space that you want to employ anyway, because that's not a space that you will ever be able to attain any kind of victory, because there is no collaboration there. So for both sides of the feminine energy right now, we see a lot of insight coming into both experiences. While for masculine energy right now, what we're really witnessing is also a similar moment of understanding and recognition. Because for masculine right now, it is a similar approach. Masculine energy is recognizing some concerns as it relates to the long-term future path and outcome. However, they are also employing a moment right now to either, again, depending on where you are with the split, for half of the masculine energy right now, this is a moment that you are feeling the connection to that high priestess energy, recognizing that you can potentially work through these troubles to make sure that you are addressing this anxiety around a point of victory in these. While for the other half of the masculine collective, this is feeling potentially some anxiety point, because what we're really seeing here is there's some anxiety that you're currently experiencing around some desired future path or outcome. You are trying to do some shift right now because you are now recognizing or having some fears. This is why you are letting go of some things right now, trying to move with quick, more speed, because you may be feeling some anxiety as it relates to being able to move towards a high priestess energy and fearing some ability of having success at this moment. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our high priestess in combination with our temperance in its reversal. So for the feminine collective right now, this is really a moment of feminine just rising up into your higher level thinking, coming into this moment, looking at things very objectively and clearly, using your higher logic and intuition to guide your path right now, and taking a lot of immediate action. Feminine energy, I need to stress, is not waiting for anything right now. Feminine energy is not waiting for anything. There's no need for it to. We see feminine is in their alignment right now. And this is the moment that they're either saying around circumstances and situations that things are up and they're able to move forward, or they're taking very direct action towards those things that are aligned to their highest karmic path right now. While for masculine energy right now, there is similarly a feeling of time being of the essence, of recognizing some anxiety. For some of the masculine energy right now, this is a point of action that is occurring with a feminine energy that is in their high priestess vibration. While for the other half of the masculine energy right now, this could be feeling like a point of anxiety that time might be too short, time might be up as it relates to getting in connection with a high priestess energy, which is why we see you trying to take so much action at this point. The card of clarification between these points right now is... Oh, there it is. Tower moment. This is it. This is really interesting. So what are we seeing here right now? For masculine and feminine, it will feel a bit different depending on whether you align on this collective. For the feminine energy right now, this is how you are now managing what could have resulted in a point of crisis. For feminine right now, this was an orientation right now on looking at some situations and scenarios that are currently existing around you. We are seeing here that feminine was averting or moving into a space of seeing or witnessing some potential crisis unfolding. But high priestess energy is one that is doing that work of correction actively in the state of taking immediate action on things to avoid crisis moments, letting that higher thinking come in, keeping one's composure, even in the space or sense of making sure to avert or correct for something that may have led to a point of crisis. While for the other feminine energy right now, this is a point of recognizing the difference between what you feel is aligned to your highest path right now versus some energy that you are potentially moving away from, and just recognizing it as a crisis point, just recognizing it as something that only creates problems in your own life right now. You are allowing this higher thinking to give you this point of clarity at this moment, and that's what's also allowing you to move forward on your path. For the other half, for the masculine collective right now, what we're really seeing is, again, you are either falling on one of two sides of this right now. For the masculine collective, it's going to feel very different. For some of the masculine collective right now, what we're really seeing is this is a moment that you yourself are actively working with a high priestess energy to avoid any sort of issues or circumstances that may have eventually led to a point of crisis. That is something that is actively happening here. You're in collaboration with them. They're doing this work. For the other half of the masculine collective, this could be feeling more difficult, because what we're really seeing for you right now is that you are experiencing the crisis point. You are actively experiencing a crisis point, and it may be as it relates to feeling like you have taken too long to come towards an energy that you now recognize was in or is actively in their high priestess energy. So this is going to feel for the other half of the masculine collective right now like something that is much more difficult, much more damaging, because you're actively experiencing the crisis point. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Temperance card in its reversal in combination with our Nine of Cups. So for both feminine and masculine right now, there is a moment, there is an urgency that you are feeling to put your cards on the table, to be open, to be upfront. For some of you right now, this is going to feel, depending on whether you're falling on the collective, for some of you, this is feeling, because we see here that there's some energy here that's coming through as a point of crisis on this. For some of you, you're actively experiencing it at this moment. For some of this energy right now, we're seeing that this is a moment or opportunity that you are now seizing upon to be able to have everything that you desire. You are moving into that space. You are doing everything you can to reorient so that you can stay in balance, okay? While for the other half of the collective right now, we are seeing that this is a moment that you are feeling a sense of urgency to come forward very quickly in this way right now. Feeling that it may be a little too late. Feeling some anxiety that it may be too little too late as it relates to those circumstances and situations at this moment. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with our Five of Cups. Five of Cups coming through to the surface right now. So what are we seeing here? We are seeing that there is this moment or opportunity that is causing, I have to say, for both sides of the collective right now, there is this point of grieving. It is a point of grieving. This isn't something that is allowed, that's coming in joyfully. There's a lot of difficult choices that had to be made here. We're seeing here that there's been a lot of patience that was provided to circumstances or scenarios. For some right now, there's a feeling of potentially either, again, for this energy that we're seeing here, this is coming through in 1-2 ways on the collective. For some of the collective right now, this is seizing right now on the opportunities, moving from a place of transparency and openness. But even now, there is a state of grieving that you are currently experiencing because you recognize that you've had to release and relinquish some things as you go forward in this way. For the other half of the collective right now, we are recognizing and experiencing the fact that you are feeling some anxiety as it relates to what you're bringing forth at this time, with some fears that you may fear that it may be too late. That now that you are finally in this moment to offer these things, you're wondering or worried about how it will be accepted. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Nine of Cups in combination with our Wheel of Fortune. There is this beautiful energy here. I have to stress how beautiful this energy is, because there is this point of recognition right now, this point of understanding, of moving into the flow of your abundance, of being in places and spaces that you feel you're getting that full support, that you can put all of your cards on the table, that you could be as transparent as possible and have that returned in kind, and recognizing for both sides of collective, this is that point, this is that light bulb moment coming through. And saying that those spaces, those places, that transparency is the highest path for me. That ability that I am learning or I have learned is what's giving me the guidance to move forward. For some of the collective right now, you are experiencing this actively. For some of the other part of the collective right now, this is a lesson that you are currently in the midst of learning, but also getting back on an alignment on your highest path. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with our Page of Wands. What is the solution to this problem, my friends? What is the solution? This is all I've been seeing in the collective readings. Alarms for confirmation. This is all I've been seeing in the collective read over the last few days. Communication. Communication is the key. Being able to communicate, being able to be open, being able to be in the spaces and places that allow for this openness, that allow for this honesty, that allow you to show the full breadth of what not only you have within you, but what you are capable with. That is what is guiding you to your highest timeline. And for some of you, these are places and spaces where you may have been feeling like you had to hold back, that you were holding back on yourself because they were not spaces or places that you could fully trust. But you're now moving into this space of understanding that the energy and spaces that you should be ones where you can show all of your gifts, all of the things that you have to bring to the table. And the energy around you will be supportive and communicative as you move forward to this point. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Six of Wands in its reversal in combination with the Tower. Having this beautiful moment that is coming through right now. And again, I know you guys don't like it. I know you're saying to me, why are you saying this is beautiful if there's a Tower here? Why, babes? Why am I saying that? Because Tower, say it with me, Tower moments are gifts. Tower moments allow us to be moved away from the circumstances and scenarios that are not aligned to our highest path. They are guided messages to help you move away from the things that are not meant for your highest good. Towers are awesome. Exactly. Tap to claim. Difficult, very difficult, but awesome is because this is a point. And again, it's going to feel a little different depending on where you are on this collective right now, but you can get through it either way. For half of the collective right now, this is a moment of clarity. This is a moment of recognition, of understanding that the reason you need to be moved away from Tower situations is they do not lead you to spaces or places of victory. Introducing this chaos into your life, creating these towers for yourself in these moments is not what is aligned to your highest potential. For the other half of and that observation is helping you move into your highest path. For the other half of the collective right now, this is a moment of moving away, of really assessing some circumstances and situations that you're not going back to because you realize that they only create Tower moments for you and they do not allow you the victory that you are meant to have and receive. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the Two of Wands in its reversal. And again, this is going to feel a little bit differently depending on where you fall on this experience at this moment. For some of the energy collective right now, we are seeing this is that Eight of Wands energy that we saw before. This is that communication blockage. But this is also the difference that we are recognizing in what is happening. For some of the collective right now, there was a point of orientation, of recognizing the spaces and places where you may have created Tower moments for yourself right now. And you're recognizing that they were the result of what? A lack of communication. This is that point of education that you're moving into on your experience and recognizing that the communication is key. The proper communication is key to avoid Tower moments. For the other half of the collective right now, this is an observation right now around some circumstances and situations that you have been experiencing that have been creating Tower moments for yourself. And they are creating moments where you cannot find a point of victory. And this is the moment that you are taking the opportunity and cutting off that communication so as not to introduce those Tower moments back into your life. That is the reorientation of the tower, the gift of the tower, if you will. Continuing to get clarification right now between our tower in combination with our 5 of cups. So having a moment right now, this is feeling like a point of grief for both the feminine and the masculine collective, for all sides of this collective right now. This is painful education. This is a painful truth that is coming to the surface for you at this moment. For some of you, this is a point of observation on some things that you may have cherished, but there's an acceptance and acknowledgement that they only lead to crisis, that they only allow chaos in. And this is a moment of you feeling this point of relinquishing them, but also grieving in the process. While for the other half of the collective right now, this is a moment that you yourself are coming into a space where you are grieving and you're doing some point of correction, right? You're doing some point of correction as it relates to your own experience right now. But you are also, this is what's so beautiful about this. This is what's so beautiful about this moment. You are correcting for the tower by learning the lessons of what you have previously lost. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. This is a moment for half of the collective where you are taking the experience of the tower that you experienced. You are observing what created the tower moment so that you can correct it. The point of clarification between these cards right now, may I please have one card to clarify? Emperor energy. We love this for both feminine and masculine right now. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. What are we seeing in these cards right now? So, for the masculine collective, this is a moment of you coming into your growth, coming into your power, coming into your own abilities of self-control and self-mastery. Because what you are recognizing right now is you are allowing these experiences to give you that guidance. And it's going to feel a bit different. I got to say, I'm seeing the split right now in this masculine energy. You either fall on one side. For one side, this is going to be much more painful than the other. For half the masculine collective right now, we are recognizing that there is this point that you are experiencing, that there was a crisis that was starting to develop around you right now. But you are averting the crisis, having learned the lessons and from the lessons of the mistakes of the past, using that observation of those experiences to guide your own path forward. And this is the mastery. This is moving in a way of being able to use those experiences to guide your path going forward. That is bringing you into a space of perfect power and control of yourself. While for the other part of the collective right now, this is feeling a bit more difficult because this is going to feel for the other half of the masculine collective right now. This is a moment or point of deep grief. Because what we're seeing here is this is a moment that you are actively experiencing right now. That you're experiencing some kind of critical loss in this moment. And there's deep, and this is what's hard about it. For this part of the masculine collective, you're also experiencing immediate, deep understanding on what has been lost and why it was lost. And that is bringing you into, though, that's where the growth is coming from. It's bringing you into a space of upgrade, of self-control, of moving into your own power. So for half of the collective right now, this is utilizing those lessons. For the other half, this is a gift of a lesson, a difficult lesson that you are currently experiencing. For the feminine collective right now, what we're really seeing is this is a moment that you as well, we're seeing a bit of a split occurring. For some of the feminine collective right now, this is also a moment that was leading to a point of crisis. But the feminine energy who is in her high priestess right now is utilizing her logic, her intuition to look back on past experiences, to recognize the correction points that were required and using those past experiences to actively correct for the crisis moment that may have occurred around them. And they are having an ability to do so right now because they realize that they're in connection with a masculine energy that is similarly espousing a same level of degree and control as you go forward from this point. While for the other half of the feminine collective, this is a moment of, again, more difficulty but deeper understanding, because while you yourself are maybe currently experiencing this tower moment, this point of understanding, it is a point of also deeper grief, because you're ready to relinquish. You're ready to relinquish and recognizing that an emperor energy, moving to manifest this emperor energy, may not have allowed this crisis moment to occur in the first place. So for both masculine and feminine energy right now on both sides, deep growth, but a bit more painful on one side of the collective right now than the other. I have to point out they're both moving in the same direction, just on different timelines. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, between our Five of Cups in combination with the Page of Wands. So again, this being a point of orientation, this being a point of feeling some grief, some loss, some things that need to be shed and let go. For some, this is an observation point on past experiences, putting that keen observation in so that you can have better communication going forward. Communication being key. For the other half of the collective right now, this is you being in a point of mourning, but feeling that support with the energy that's coming towards you right now in an open and communicative way. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now. Man, this card does not want to stay in the deck. We have judgment. We have judgment. Decisions, decisions, decisions. We've been seeing this all over the decks for the last few days. This is a point of making choices. This is a point of making choices. Analyzing and feeling this point of grief or loss, coming forward with proper communication so that you can make the choice that is aligning to your highest path. For some of you, this communication is going to feel very sad. This is not positive. This is a hard conversation that you have to give right now, because you have to let something go in order to move into your highest timeline. For the other half of the collective right now, this is you feeling some experience, ruminating over some losses of the past, but allowing it to be the productive ground from which to have new conversations so that you can make decisions going forward. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, between our Two of Wands in its reversal, in combination with the Emperor. So it's going to feel a little different for feminine and masculine energy, and even for the energies around this. For feminine energy right now, this is a moment where you may specifically be looking at some circumstances and situations and just cutting off some energy, moving away from something, having a point of disorientation, looking at something and not seeing any kind of ability to communicate there, but recognizing for half of the feminine collective right now, moving into this choice because you are trying to manifest an emperor energy around you right now that is standing in their power, that shows that ability of mastery of the self as you go forward from this point. Someone who is going to act as a protector and has enough self-control to be able to do so. While for the other half of the collective right now, this is you currently experiencing a point of redress. You are experiencing some moment right now that had some confusion as it relates to what was going forward, but you are doing work right now to address this blockage with the energy aligned to you of this masculine standing in this emperor energy, someone who exhibits this ability to control the self, their own sense of self-mastery that is allowing for this clarity as you go forward from this point. While for the masculine energy right now, what we're really witnessing is this is a moment for you that you are also coming into a point of self-mastery. For some of the masculine collective right now, as we said, this is a point of reorientation, of working with some energy right now to clear up any blockages. And you are experiencing this active upgrade as you are able to compose this degree of self-mastery in the process of doing it with High Priestess energy that is similarly logic-based approach as you go forward from this point. Well, for the other half of the masculine collective right now, what we're really seeing is this could be feeling a bit more difficult because, again, there's something here that you are actively experiencing that may be feeling more like an immediate tower moment that is occurring around you right now. You are feeling that blockage in your life right now, that inability to communicate. But even that is trying to raise you. It's requiring you. It's trying to bring you into a space of self-control. It's bringing you into a space of higher understanding of the self as you experience it. There is a learning process here. So for half of this collective right now, this is a bit more of a painful journey because it's requiring some of this growth as you go forward. For the other half, this is something that you are actively working on correcting. May I please have one card to clarify? There it is. Clarification. We love this. We love this. It's going to feel a little bit different for masculine and feminine energy. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. This is really, I mean, again, there's some painful energy. Listen, this is not an easy peasy, lemon squeezy kind of like reading here. But again, it's allowing for this like easement to happen. It's allowing for this like ability to come through. Because what are we seeing happening here? For the feminine and masculine. For feminine right now, what we're really seeing is this is a moment that you are experiencing some kind of degree or level of communication block for feminine. Okay? But for feminine energy right now, for half of the feminine energy right now, this is a moment of reorientation. Okay, that there's a correction point that's occurring right now. And so and it's interesting because for some of the feminine energy right now, this is coming through in reorienting around either a singular masculine energy that is being able to move from this space of mastery and self-control, and who is also holding in their integrity, standing firm, being able to show these abilities to do so. Well, for the other half of the feminine collective right now, this is a moment that you yourself are experiencing where you're simply no longer communicating or moving away from any energy that's creating chaos, with the understanding that some of the energy around you right now, that the energy that you're truly trying to manifest for in this moment, and even energy that you may be recognizing around you in this moment, is energy that shows an ability of self-control, and also further that is able to stand in their integrity, to defend and protect when there are crises instead of running, that aren't necessarily going to create them, but is going to try to foster an environment where they do not begin in the first place. For masculine energy right now, this is like a real moment. This is a real moment, and depending on where you fall in the masculine energy right now, it will feel a bit different. For some of the masculine energy, this is a difficult lesson that you are currently experiencing. That there's something here that you are feeling some kind of deeper understanding coming into at this moment. And you are recognizing now how to move into this space for yourself. That you're being offered this opportunity on something that has passed by, or something that you don't feel you can communicate on right now. That is moving you into this space of better understanding of the self, better mastery, better self-control, and learning the value of your integrity. While for the other half of the masculine collective right now, this is a moment that you yourself are expressing these abilities for yourself in this moment. You are holding this place of self-control. You are holding this place of personal power and mastery of the self. And it's all coming from you standing in your integrity, in honesty, in forthrightness, in being able to be in that level of integrity is what is helping you clear up any of the blockages that you're currently experiencing. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Between our Emperor energy in combination with the Judgment card. So, again, a bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For feminine energy right now, this is a point of judgment. This is a choice that you are actively making in this moment. We see here, feminine is in their high priestess energy right now. You are using that point of logic, of strength, of empowerment to help you make the decisions that you need to go make going forward. And again, for half of the feminine collective right now, this is feeling a bit difficult because it is a recognition that you are trying to manifest in right now, a manifestation of masculine that has this degree and control of self-mastery. For the other half of the feminine collective right now, this is you making active decisions right now to clear up any blockages with the alignment of an emperor energy at your side. While for masculine energy right now, this is a moment that you yourself are experiencing. And again, depending on where you fall on this masculine collective, it will feel a little bit different. For some of the masculine, for half of the masculine collective right now, this is a moment of you being able to make choices right now, active, immediate choices that you recognize are helping you ascend to this space of having the things that you desire, having everything that you wish to attain, feeling the energy of this confidence, not just in the choices that you're making, but in the choices being made around you at this moment. While for the other half of the masculine collective, this is a difficult moment of self-growth because there's something that is currently happening around you that feels like more of an active crisis. And decisions are being made and they're requiring you to be able to find this level or degree of mastery of the self. The lesson in the judgment right now is helping you get further on your path of understanding. Clarification between these two cards right now. There she is. There she is. There's the clearing up of the blockage. Here is the clearing up of the blockage, my friends. You asked, it answered. Here it is. You asked, it answered. What is the clearing up of the blockage? What have I been saying this whole reading? What have I been saying this whole reading? The clearing up of the blockage. Again, for feminine and masculine, it's going to feel a little bit different. Masculine energy right now. There is a moment right now that you are hanging in. You're trying to make sure you are in a space right now. For some of the masculine, you're currently experiencing this. For some of the masculine, you're trying to rush towards this at this moment, feeling a bit left behind, if you will, trying to catch up, if you will, because we feel here that there is something with this active crisis moment happening for the other half of the masculine collective that feels like a bit of busy work. Because there is this moment of coming into alignment and higher judgment and recognizing right now for both sides of the masculine collective that communication is the determining factor. Consistent, continual, productive, open, forthright communication, actual communication is the clearing up of the blockage and is also a point of judgment. So this has been a very important lesson right now and also a triumph for the masculine energy on the value and significance of healthy communication. While for the feminine collective right now, this is a moment that you yourself, we see here, there's some energy that's getting blocked off from communication. For some of this is moving away from a point of crisis. But because for the feminine energy, it is the same message. There is a recognition right now of the difference between any energy that you're moving away from right now that is creating a point of crisis for you versus what you are moving into. And recognizing that the difference between those tower moments and what you're moving into right now, the ability to manifest in this emperor energy is an emperor energy that actively works with you to make decisions, that actively works with you to make these choices, that it is a collaborative process, and it all starts with communication. So beautiful, beautiful energy today. Difficult energy, but beautiful for both masculine and feminine. Final card for today's spread. Between our King of Swords in combination with the Eight of Wands. Beautiful energy for both masculine and feminine. Thank you for the gift. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For feminine energy right now, this is that point of recognition. This is that point for both sides of the feminine. For some of you actively having this expression occurring right now for you. For some of you working right now to move into a manifestation that is embodying these qualities of, again, a manifestation of masculine that is forthright, that stands in their integrity, that works to protect and defend that which you're trying to create with them. While for masculine energy right now, there is similarly a moment of recognition that you are having, you are feeling, you are either having this be a lesson that you are currently learning or a triumph that you are experiencing around the ability to stand forthright in openness, in communication, holding to your integrity, showing your full everything you have to offer, and communicating in a consistent way to be able to have that point of achievement. Card to clarify. Clarification coming right now. With the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles. This is actually opening you up right now to be able to do more things at once, to be able to balance, to find this balance. It's not the fact that you're able like that. And this is really interesting. This is going to feel a bit different depending on whether you align to it. Where are you aligned to it on the path? For feminine energy right now, this is coming through as a moment that does feel, this is where we see some of that overwhelm for both masculine and feminine right now. I mean, for the feminine energy specifically, we see here that there is a lot of balancing that is required, right? Especially because for half of the feminine energy right now, this is that moment that you're having to look at some of the experiences in the past versus the ones that you're moving into, and trying to balance between those points. But you're trying to do so in the most positive way possible, because you're recognizing that you have to look at things from a lot of different perspectives right now in order to determine how you want to move forward. That there's something even about this for the feminine energy right now that is currently experiencing some of this crisis point. There's a lot of decisions that need to be made. A lot of those decisions may not be actively chosen right now, but you yourself are doing your best to balance them as you continue forward from this point. For the other part of the feminine collective right now, this is about coming into a space right now with an alignment with masculine energy that is standing in their integrity and standing in their power, and recognizing that their ability to communicate gives you the ability to balance and to keep this flow for yourself as you go forward. While for the masculine energy right now, what we're really recognizing is this is also creating a moment for you as well, where you standing in your integrity, openly communicating to a certain degree. Again, masculine energy depends on where you fall in alignment with this. Some of this energy right now, you're currently experiencing an active crisis where you are learning the value of this lesson and you are still trying to figure out what the best approach is. This is that moment of trepidation that we're still seeing here around some of that masculine energy that is not necessarily ready to grow into this yet, but they're trying to learn. While for the other part of the masculine energy right now, this is a recognition point that being able to stand in your power with this open communication actually allows you this beautiful ability to flow. It doesn't limit you. The ability to communicate and stand in your integrity actually creates a flow state for you from which you can actually have everything that you desire. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now is the World card. So what are we seeing here? This is about finding a flow state. This is about finding your own personal flow state right now. This is about maintaining a flow state. This whole reading is about maintaining a flow state here. This is about remembering right now that you are in this point of completion, but that is not an ongoing process. That it is something that you have to continually work to cultivate within your own self. So in a way, I have to say there's some heavy lessons arriving today, but the bigger point is not necessarily the arrival of those lessons. It's about how to maintain them, how to maintain the flow state that you are either learning or actively participating in. It can feel like a bit of a juggling act, but it's about being able to have those incremental, continual refinement points. And how do we have that refinement? Through communication and planning. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and sharing it with me. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. My private readings, thank you for the gift, are done over video with the option of a recording sent to you afterwards. And if you are a subscriber to my TikTok, you can take 10% off any of my services when you pay. Just mention your subscriber ID at the point of payment. Also, please keep in mind, booking a reading with me is a two-step process. You have to book the reading and you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure that you do both if you would like to have the reading with me. Most importantly, please, remember that I will never, ever reach out to you for a reading. I will never inbox you. I will never PM you. I will never send you a private message. I'll never slide into your DMs and tell you that your great granduncle has a very important message for me to deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my website. So please do it there. That is our daily collective read for the day. Thank you so much for being here and sharing it with me. And we will do this again tomorrow.